and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanya and I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm a professional musician. I run a couple of niche websites. I'm an SEO and passive income specialist, and I have a variety of courses out there that you can work with me on. But today we are going to do a little garden with me. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Okay, so I have a gardening website and it is in its infancy. It is a tiny little baby website and we're gonna actually watch it grow over here on the channel and on my blog. So today I thought we would start out with a little garden with me, the first in a series, and we're gonna start with seed starting. So what you're gonna need if you wanna join along or just watch, you need a pitcher of water. You're gonna need some containers. I have a takeout container here. I have just a plastic container right here. I have a Tupperware container here. You're gonna need a skewer, seeds of course, and you're gonna need some plastic wrap. Now you can plant in virtually anything, and what we're gonna be using today are these little peat pellets. This tiny little hockey puck, once you add water to it, is going to turn into this giant peat pot for you to plant in. And like I said, you can plant in virtually anything. Like I said, takeout container, old plastic container, Tupperware. I ended up not using it, but one of these cheap plastic containers. You can buy fancy seed starting stuff at the garden center, but you don't have to. I bought this packet of 100 peat pellets on Amazon for like 20 bucks. Super cheap. They're gonna last me a while, and I'm just putting them in containers. I used to do the big Jiffy greenhouses, but I felt like I was wasting a lot of plastic because they would break, I would never reuse them, so this way I use less plastic. So, the other thing you're gonna need is just a piece of paper. I've done something fancy with a grid before, but for this one, I just sketched it out with pencil, but basically you're gonna wanna know what you're planting when you go to plant vegetables or flowers or whatever. So I'm gonna start here with this one, and we're gonna actually just start with vegetables today. So as you can see, I have masking tape on here, numbered, so that we know exactly what we're planting in each pot, and that's where we're gonna write it down. Okay, so you're gonna take this skewer, and you're just gonna hollow out the inside of each of these so that you have a place to put the seed when you plant it. And this is really kind of an important step for my gardening blog because recently Google has decided to add an extra E to its EAT factor. And I am sure that, you know, if you've been on this channel a while, you know what EAT is. But if you're new, EAT is Google's authenticity factor that it used to help rank websites. It stands for expertise, authority, and trust. And not too long ago, they added another E for experience. And the point of the experience is they want people to know that you know what you're doing. So they want to know that I know how to garden, that I know what I'm doing. And I do most of the time. So what they do with this EAT factor is they expect pictures. Videos like this one. I can use this one on my blog on how to start seeds. And it's going to show. I can take photographs as we go. But that factor is very important these days. A few years back, when I first started, it was super easy to just start a niche site and make money, whether you knew anything about the product or not. You could get out there, you could look at the bestsellers on Amazon, you could do your research, and then you could just write blog posts and make money off of it. Let me tell you, I've done that. But it's not that easy anymore. So Google kind of looked around and said, hey, why are we letting all of these people make money off of something that they know nothing about? So they added that experience factor. And let me tell you, as far as, obviously, I'm interested in a lot of things, and as far as music is concerned, I wrote an article on the best clarinet mouthpiece. And when I first wrote it, the clarinet mouthpiece articles out there were total garbage. They were trash. The mouthpieces that they were recommended were cheap and terrible. So I wrote one, and I almost instantly ran up to the first position in a matter of weeks. Now I go back and forth between the first 3 positions because there's a couple of others that have come after me. I've got to update that blog. But because I was authority, because I'm a professional clarinet player, I knew what I was doing. I got to write this down. Don't be like me and forget to write stuff down, because then you have a bunch of seeds and you have no idea which plant is which. So anyway, Google wants to make sure that you know precisely what you're doing when you write a blog post. They want to know that you have experience in that niche. Well, the blogs that I have experience in. I am a gardener. I love to garden. I've also killed a few plants in my days. So if you're a gardener and you kill a few plants, it's how you learn. Don't worry about it. Any gardener at the farmer's market is going to tell you that they probably have killed more plants that they've grown in their lifetime. And that's exactly why, as I'm starting these seeds, right now I'm starting pepper seeds. And peppers, they take a while to germinate, so I'm starting them pretty early. But I put 3 seeds in each pot because I know they're probably not going to all germinate. And if by some miracle they do all germinate, that is totally okay. I'm just going to find the best of the 3 seedlings and cut the other 2 off at the base. It feels like plant homicide. It's a little painful for my soul, but I know it's better for my garden in the long run. You know, I think one of the things that I really love about gardening is you get to watch stuff grow. It's like I'm planting these tiny little seeds that really you could probably barely even see if you looked at. And they're going to grow into these beautiful plants this summer. They're going to bring me peppers and tomatoes and herbs. I'm going to plant tons of basil. We eat so much basil in this house. And it's so much cheaper to grow it yourself than to buy it at the grocery store. And the produce, if you've never tasted fresh vegetables out of a garden, let me tell you, you are missing out because they are amazing. But you know, it's kind of like my business. I start with little seeds of knowledge anytime I start a new program. And I start to plant those seeds. I start to think about it, kind of jot a few things down, then flesh it out over time, cultivate it, let it grow into an idea, and then eventually I put it out there into the proverbial internet garden. And to be honest, sometimes it is a huge success. Other times it is a serious flop. And that's okay, because that's part of learning. That's part of business growth. I teach private music lessons too. I'm a clarinet teacher, and I have some very successful students who do really well at auditions. They win college scholarships. But one thing that I start instilling in them in the 6th grade when they first start playing clarinet is you can't be afraid of failure. Failure is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. Some of my failures led to my biggest successes because when you look at a failure, it's a learning point. And each failure, you learn something new and you get a little bit better and a little bit stronger. I know you've probably heard all the stuff about how many times Michael Jordan failed, how many times JCPenney went bankrupt. And failure is just part of growth. And I kind of see failure as a good thing. Maybe it's because I'm a weird musician who's had more rejection letters in my life than most average people don't. And all my musicians out there, I know that you are just shaking your head going, oh yeah, I feel you on that, because rejection is just part of the game in the world of music. But each one you grow from, you learn from. You learn what you can do just a little bit better next time, how you can improve your playing, how you can improve the performance psychology behind auditioning, just tons of things you can learn. So that's the same thing with business and with gardening. Let me tell you, some of these plants are going to fail. They are not going to all be major successes. And you know what? That's okay. That is so totally okay. Got to remember how many of each of these I'm going to do. Now I'm moving on to some tomato. I got all the peppers planted. I have bell peppers, Thai red chili peppers, jalapeno peppers, and now I've got some tomatoes I'm going to put in there. I have this Sunrise Bumblebee tomato. It's a little cherry tomato. These cute little micro tom tomatoes. These are fabulous in containers, and they're so cute. You can put them on the front porch, or if you live in an apartment, these are great. And then the other tomato I'm planting is Martino's Roma tomatoes, because we use a lot of these. I'm not planting any other tomatoes this year because, frankly, we have a CSA share, and we get so many tomatoes, almost more than we can handle. I have tomatoes in the freezer right now we need to turn into sauce, and it is March, so they're left over from last year. So this is all I'm going to do tomato-wise. But it's going to give us fresh tomatoes to eat. And these are kind of the more expensive ones to buy at the farmer's market and in the store. And it'll suit us. There's only 2 of us, so there's plenty to work with here. And then once you're all done planting your seeds, what you're going to do is you're going to take some plastic wrap. Any kind of plastic wrap. It doesn't have to be fancy like this. I got my bougie plastic wrap. And you're just going to pull it over. And you're going to seal it off. Because these seeds need moisture and heat to germinate. So this plastic is going to help keep them moist and keep them from drying out as quickly. And I'm actually going to take these off to the heat mat so that they can stay warm and germinate and do well. And we'll check back in a few weeks, so we'll see what they're looking like. So until next time, thank you so much for watching and gardening with me a little bit and talking a little bit business because I can't help myself. And I will catch you in a video next week. Peace out.